Okay, well, hello everybody. I'm just going to get that out there. It's quite a relief actually, I feel a bit unburdened now. The point here really is, I'm not an expert. What I can do is find information and make friends with Google search. If there's anything you take away from this is get to grips with basic terminology about websites, and you'll find that that Google will become your main source of kind of IT support. It's really worthwhile investing a bit of time and getting to grips with that, the kind of language, just the basics, so that you can tell the doctor where it hurts. I suppose your basic web components here, it's kind of hard just to talk about it kind of dryly, so if you maybe think about your website like a house. Now you're essentially renting the land surrounding the house, and that's your web hosting company. That's where your site lives. You have an address for your house. That's your domain name. That's your www.whatever.co.uk, and then you've got your connection to the internet there out front. Your house itself, the website, the foundations are generally built on a language called HTML, Hypertext Markup Language. Some sites are built with PHP or MySQL. It tends to be kind of for bigger, more complicated sites that involve databases. But most sites, the kind of sites you're likely to be working with, will be built from HTML. It's the kind of lingua franca of the World Wide Web. And your interior decor is defined using something called CSS, Cascading Style Sheets. That's another term you might come across. And that's kind of like your paint on your walls. As your background colours, it defines what size of font you're using, what kind, whether your images are going to be right aligned or left aligned, that sort of thing. So don't just rush straight in. Sit down as a group or a couple of folk, plan it out on paper. And really at the top of your kind of planning flow chart should be your audience. If you can have some idea of who your key audience, who you want to get your message or messages across to, that's a big help, because everything kind of stems from that, the kind of the way that you structure your site and the kind of content. So a site that you're mainly aiming at kids is going to look very different to one that's aimed at an older audience. And the same goes for the design. And just try to keep things as simple as possible, really. People tend to read slower and read less on screen than they do on paper. So keep your word content down, keep it really concise and really tight. So first thing you want to do is get yourself your domain name, so that's your address for your website. Choose your name wisely, I'll come back to that. Really you want something that's short and memorable. If you try to make it a kind of descriptor for your project and squash everything in, you'll go nuts trying to get it all put on your flyers and all the rest. It's a real pain, so try to keep it as concise as possible. Your top level domain, that's your .com, your .co.uk, your .org, and some people worry about which one to choose, which is most appropriate, and there's currently about, I think 25 top level domain options. That's going to change soon. It's going to go absolutely nuts, and they're adding another 1,000. But for the moment, for sort of community groups, probably the most appropriate top-level domains are the sort of .orgs. But ultimately, it doesn't really matter too much. If you're looking to find a domain, you can search to see whether it's available and then purchase it. You basically rent it for a period, usually of about a year or 2 years. Costs can vary between £5, £50, depending on what kind of top-level domain you go for. And you can go to 123reg, 1&1. There's another company that offers that service. Another one you'll see is GoDaddy. I wouldn't recommend them because their CEO is a ridiculous character who likes to go hunting elephants in Africa, so I'd boycott them. When you're deciding on your domain name, it's worthwhile actually writing it down. There's a couple of really epic domain name fails. One from a company that sells stationery. They're called Pen Island. and they bought the name penisland.net. Yeah. Not a good idea. Once you get down to the kind of nitty-gritty, again, it's all about simplicity and keeping things really concise. Take a bit of time to select your images carefully. People like looking at pictures of other people, happy people, people doing stuff. You quite often see these kind of photos of large groups of archaeologists, often field trips and stuff, and they often have a kind of cultish look to them. They're usually gathered in a circle, in some woodland grove or something with everybody's plaques. It's just like never good. Accessibility, about 8% of the population is colourblind, so bear them in mind as well. Typography, really important and a major component of your design, so think carefully about your fonts. Okay, very quickly we're going to look at drag and drop websites. This is a good option for community groups. Really simple, easy to use interface. You can have multiple editors. And really, we're going to look at Weebly this afternoon. If you come and have a talk to us in the whatever room we're in, number 4. But there are other options. Wix and Squarespace are more advanced templates, but Weebly is probably the easiest to use, so I would recommend that for you. If you're feeling a bit brave, you could have a go at some content management systems, or even build a site yourself. But really, you need to have a level of experience and knowledge of HTML to really get into that. Some of you might have used WordPress before. Once you've got your website set up, before you launch, make sure you get all your text proofread, check on phones, iPads, any device you can get your hands on, and tap David for a shout out on Past Horizons or any other social media to get the word out before you launch, to contact your local press, kind of thing, and then you're off.